Recovering from narcissistic abuse is not always an easy journey. No matter how strong you are, there's going to be some pitfalls and, there's going to be some slipping back. But if you know and realize that, you can always catch yourself. And, it's constant work to recover from narcissistic abuse. And I reflect back on my days of bowling, where I was a very competitive bowler. I mean, and my ultimate goal for the longest time is I wanted to become a professional bowler and be on the PBA tour. That was my ultimate goal, and unfortunately, I never had the support that I needed. I mean, at the time I was married, my husband was not supportive, and obviously, my whole entire biological family was not supportive of me either. So, but I was determined on my own to accomplish that. And like I said, I've watched the PBA tour a lot and learned a lot of things, get a feel for what it's like to be out on the road and on the tour, and of course I've spoken to the gentleman that had drills my bowling balls, and he kind of gave me some broad, a very good perspective of what life would be like on a tour, and I still wanted that type of life. And but with the narcissism that was afflicted upon me by my parents and by my sisters, but mainly my parents, looking back, I could see why I was never able to make that become a reality. Because not only did I not have the support, which was obvious. I mean, it didn't have to be financial support, just the emotional support and say, hey, we're fighting in your corner. Never had that type of support. You know, um, never had the encouragement. I had to actually try to encourage myself. And just knowing the abuse that was afflicted upon me would have been a very, very uphill battle. Because there I'm fighting with confidence issues, I'm fighting with self esteem issues, and looking back to all the times that I have bowled in leagues and tournaments, and I look back and realize, and there were so many times I was overthinking, like overthinking my shots or overthinking what bowling ball to use, because I was really a scratch caliber bowler, and I owned 8 bowling balls at the time, and so you could tell I was a very serious bowler, and I took my bowling very seriously, and I was always wondering when to make the adjustment when the lanes start to change. Um, and looking back, I realized I was such an overthinker, and I was doubting my own abilities. And now that I clearly see, I know why I was unable to accomplish that goal. But I had to tell myself that that was not my fault, that I could not accomplish it. Even though I tried with all my might, and I was still unable to accomplish it because just the way I thought, this being, like I said, overthinking, doubting my own abilities to the lane conditions, the mental part. And if you don't get the mental part, I mean, you can be in tip-top shape to bowl, but it doesn't mean nothing if the mental part is not conquered. And for a long time, I never believed that, but I had to learn the hard way. But knowing now that I'm empowered and I know what have been up against, I'm starting to get my own life back, gradually. I mean, even with the knee surgery and just getting my mental health back together and getting that healthy and healing that inner child and all the other things that needs to be worked upon. I mean, I've worked pretty well with my anger. I'm not as angry as I used to be. And, I've when I was bowling, I had idolized Earl Anthony, and he was my favorite bowler. I idolized him, he was a left-hander, and I was right-handed, but I always admired his smoothness to the line. And he passed away back in 2001, and that took me some while to get over with him being gone. I really, really liked Earl. I studied him a lot. Just as far as like being smooth to the line, I've always admired that about Earl. And now, for the past year, I'd found myself another bowler that I greatly admire, and he's on the PBA 50 tour. And I really admire this guy because I see some things in him that I see in myself. And his name is Jack Jerk, and I really admire this guy. Style similar to mine, and that's the key thing about bowling. If you ever want to be a successful bowler, is you learn from the pros and you find a pro that's like closest to your style as possible and just study them. But not only is Jack a similar bowler to me as far as style is concerned, but we also have something in common. And I've read quite a bit about Jack, and and this is something that I don't know. I know I've read a lot of things about him that he had confidence issues where they said he had what they call inferiority complex. But I don't know where that stems from. It could stem from childhood. Maybe it could have stemmed from maybe in school. Maybe he was bullied. That's something I don't know. But I do know that just the confidence issue, regardless how it's ever stemmed from, or if it was stemmed from some type of emotional, mental abuse, whether it's through school or through his parents or somebody, in his family line, or like I said, in school. And that's something I don't know. And of course, with me, my confidence issues, obviously, as everybody knows, has stemmed from having narcissistic parents and being in a narcissistic family. That's where mine stems from. But as far as Jack is concerned, I don't know. I mean, all I can do is suspect. But like I said, we both have that in common as far as the confidence issue is concerned. We just kind of overthink things, or you don't trust yourself, you don't trust your skill, you don't trust your own ability, and that's where I feel I have a connection towards Jack, even though I've never met him. But I feel this sense of connection with Jack Jurek. I really do. And Jack, if you're watching, I can really relate with you, buddy. I can really relate to not having confidence in yourself and letting that be a struggle, because I've struggled with that myself. And you're not alone. None of us is alone. And being able to conquer and try to rebuild your confidence takes work. And with me, I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to rebuild the confidence I have myself, but I know that's going to have to stem from rebuilding and healing that inner child inside of me. And once I'm able to do that, then I would love to inspire somebody like Jack and many other people, not just Jack, but all other people that's suffering, because that's one of the big scars of narcissism. However, if, like I said, it's whether to be parents, siblings, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, worker, co-worker, boss, wherever the narcissism stems in your life, it still leaves an emotional scar, an emotional and mental scar, and spiritual. And you know, like I said, I still have a lot to work with. I mean, even though I'm getting stronger and I'm progressing every day, and I feel like I'm getting my life back, slowly but surely. I think right now one of the things I have to really, really work on is about forgiveness. And I've prayed about it. I've asked God to help me, to lead me and guide me and help me know, how do I just forgive them, or do I just forgive myself? And that's something that I should bring at my next therapy appointment, because that's something I'm not sure about. I mean, I don't have all the answers. Nobody does. And that's just something that I have to just kind of just search and venture out for myself and ask my therapist and help me get a grip on that, because it's like, yeah, I want to forgive, but also at the same time, it's like, well, okay, if I forgive my narcissistic mother and sisters, I don't want to forgive them in a way it gives them the free pass to try to screw over top of me again. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I cut myself off from them, and that's going to stay that way. I've done made up my mind, and once I make up my mind, I very rarely change my mind. But when it comes to becoming a survivor from a narcissistic family, I know any acts of kindness, and I wouldn't care about their tears, because I know they're empty crocodile tears, and I don't care how sincere that they would sound. I don't care if they see the error of their ways, because now it's to a point now, hey, they cannot be trusted. I played a trust game several times, got burnt every time. So it's like, well, now, this time, you know, if there's ever going to be a time to where they come up in my face and say, hey, I come crying on their knees, and I said, no, I'm not buying it. If it were to happen right now, I'd tell them, get the hell out of my face, because right there you're lying. And I remember this one video I watched about narcissism. He calls himself the narcissist survival or survivor. I should say. He's an older guy. I don't know his name, but he has many videos too, and I've learned quite a bit from him. And one of the things I have learned from this gentleman, who also has his own YouTube channel, he does mention, um, he does really mention uh, that when a narcissist opens their mouth, they're lying. And I've always kept that in mind. And I just know that's all the motivation I need to not ever trust them ever again. Not my mother, not my sisters. I can't trust them as far as I can throw them. And, and so far I haven't gotten any phone calls, no threats, or no nothing, but my guard's always up and always will be up. But at the same time, I have to be able to balance all that, and I have to still be able to be happy and to be joyful, which I have been, but I want to be even more joyful and more beyond happy, to where I don't always have to feel like I'm looking over my shoulder over time. Not, I'm just not, like I said, I'm not sitting here looking over my shoulder, or I'm not sitting here wondering when the shoe's gonna drop on me next, or feel like I always have to have my guard up and I can't enjoy my life as I intend to. But I just gotta convince myself. I say, hey, I got a game plan in case something ever happens. If they ever come up to my door or try to bring law enforcement in here. I mean, anything that they do, I know I can't put past them. But at the same time, I know I need to be happy, and I need to be. I can't sit here and just be paranoid and because that's what they want. I'm not gonna give in to that, and I just intend to to continue to enjoy my life to the fullest, continue to be happy, do the things that bring me joy, but always keep in the back of my head to always be prepared for the unexpected. You know, so I had to keep that in my conscience at all times. But I intend to go back to bowling. As a matter of fact, I think within the next couple of days I want to have my very first practice session. And the doctor has given me the green light to go back to bowling, but just do it on a very gradual basis. And I'm only going to do an hour practice session to where I will take breaks within that hour, so I don't overwork my knees, because that's important. And hopefully it'll be a good session. But yeah, someday I would really, really love to meet Jack sometime. Maybe one of these days I'm hoping we cross paths, and maybe, with what I can learn how to uplift myself and really get my confidence to where it is, maybe I could help him too, and many others, not just him, but other people too, as I have it in my heart to help others. And like I said, I've said time and time again that that's why I do these videos. It's not so much just to expose the narcissist in my life, but it's also because I want to help others, and I want to make my mess into a message. And I want to just be a blessing to others and just help other people, because I've been where they're at. And if there's if watching my videos really helps any of you, that's awesome. That I've accomplished something that makes me happy. It makes me feel very good inside to help anybody. But everyone has their own degree of the pain that you feel when you're getting over the narcissist in your life. There's always going to be pain, but it's up to you as to whether to work through that pain or just let it sit there and tear you to shreds. You can either beat it or let it beat you. It's your choice. And take whatever time that you can to work through those things, and to also have a clear understanding of why it happened. Maybe not so much why it happened to you, but just understand the behavior itself and know what you're dealing with, and being able to know how to deal with it, and be able to go to a therapist, which I really feel is key. Now, you can't just sit there and go to any therapist, but it's always good to go to a therapist that specializes in this. It's very important. There's hurt, there's anger, there's resentment, there's lots of unforgiveness, all kinds of stuff that goes on. I know. And right now, like I said, with mine, it's just now I need to work through forgiveness. It's like, well, I don't want to forgive them as a means. The narcissistic mother and sisters that were once in my life, the ones that I've cut off and told them to go fuck off. Excuse my language, but that's how I feel. But I just say, hey, it's their loss. And I have to know, I just want to know, how can I try this forgiveness thing? Because I don't want to give them a free pass. But at the same time, I do want to heal, yes. So I've been praying about it, and I haven't had anything that's dawned on me yet. Hopefully, God will reveal that answer to me sooner or later, or put somebody in my path to tell me what forgiveness is all about, because I do want to forgive, because I don't want to give them that power. I don't think about them as much. I mean, used to, when I was getting over this stuff, I mean, I was thinking about him constantly every day, 24 hours a day, but now I don't think about him as much. I mean, yes, some of it still goes in and out of my head, and like I said, I got still a lot of work to do, and I have to just work through it. And my therapist should be able to help me, do this forgiveness thing, because I want to forgive, but I want to do the forgiveness in the right way, and not just so much forgive them, but also to forgive myself. But I've already came to that realization that it's not my fault. Came to that realization, and I just gotta put one foot in front of the other and work towards getting my confidence to where I want it to be. So many things. And for those of you that have been following me and been watching my videos, I thank you for watching. I appreciate the views, and if you know of anybody else that's going through the same stuff that you're going through, please pass my videos along. Pass the message around. So right now, I'll end this video for now. As always, I wish each and every one of you peace and joy and love, as always. Thank you. Take care. See you next time.